Hello all! So you've clicked on this video to learn about, well, my DJ Mod V2. So I've been hard at work over the last week doing a full rework of the whole time mod, fixing crafting recipes, fixing items. So in this update there are some big changes. One, the DJ booth center I've removed its music for the time being because at the moment there is a bug that has been persisting that it used to not happen in earlier versions where you play music and left the word cut out, but for some reason in this version, hopefully the next update will be fixed and I'll re-add it back into a future update with a whole bunch of music stuff. But for now, the music track that is on the center of the DJ booth has been removed because if you leave the world, it keeps playing. You cannot turn it off. Literally, you cannot turn it off. If you leave the world, it just keeps playing, and I've had a bunch of complaints with that. So I've removed it for the time being, and I'll re-add it in the future. Now, what are you going to need? Crystals. So, I had some people asking in my stream, how do you attain these crystals? They're actually quite easy. So there are two ways to attain them. One, when you start the game and you find your portal, you'll find the giant golem. The golem will drop some crystals. There's ones for each of the regions. Two, this is for more mid. At this stage it's late game. Later on it's going to be mid game from what we're being told is the dinosaur zone. And when you're in the dinosaur cave, look up. That whole roof are crystal blocks and they will drop these shards. Also you're going to need a charcoal and an axe or a hatchet. And you're also going to need build hammers. You can use the crude one, or I love to use the iron one because it's just got more durability, but when you're starting out you can use the crude one. So you take these crystals and here it is in your, literally is in your pocket crafting. I wanted to have it as easy for people to get and also just be a goal to aim for. So we craft the bench. Place down the bench. So we've got the normal dance floors as always. As you guys know what they are, it is just two shards. And you've got all the colours. As always you place it down. You have to interact to change its mode. So with it you have to double click when you first place it down, but once you've placed it down you can just keep doing your thing. Now with how the game renders animation at the moment, when you hit the F, it doesn't technically reset the animation, it just changes the mode. So when you're making a dance floor, I'm letting you know right now, it's visually just to you. So you have to actually relog. I've tried going out far away, and it doesn't really do anything. So with the dance floors, to actually have it visually update for you and be the proper sequence you want, you have to actually relog. There's no other way around. It's just how animations work, and it's the only way I've been able to figure out to make it actually work with actually all syncs up right. So what I mean by that is, if we put a bunch of these down, you're going to see really quickly when I start hitting them, they're majorly out of sync. Because it doesn't reset the animation, it's on a loop cycle, so it will just change to whatever thing on the loop cycle it's set to. But when you relog, they'll all resync up together and be fully working. Now, these are all the different colours. Also, I worked out from someone in my stream, these are only actually in creative mode. So the new glow blocks are only technical and creative mode, and I thought that was unfair on you guys. So I added it to the mod. But I also added a whole bunch of other dev ones that I found, like this, and the green one. So these are just to add an extra fun lighting to any of your parties or nightclubs you're making. You could add these as floors, they automate light like always, as you can see. So these are the light sources, and as always these all have a glowing near effect. These do not emit light, but they are a glowing effect. Also, you've got the trim still in, so the trim is a fun way to, because if you look on the side of these, you can see the animation actually coming through, and it's clipping through. The trims are there for you to border your dance floors, to get rid of that. Now, what is new? A bunch of stuff. So you've still got the normal DJ deck, the two scratch sides that play the music. So the DJ deck no longer has its music added to it for the time being until that bug is fixed. You got your DJ decks. And also I've had some people asking, it's very loud, how do I turn it down? It is tied to your VX volume. I have it set to 100 for testing, but the audio is tied to this. It's your VX or your FX volume. And always, by hitting them, now both sides have 5, so this has 5 sets and this has 5 sets. I do plan to do an auto music update for the time being, but for the time being I want to focus on more lighting effects and things. So you've still got the normal disco ball. Place it down, hit it, turn it, place on different angles and walls. Now, this is one of the new things I've added. We now have, so this is from my Neon Zone. This is one of the first things I made from my Neon Zone. So when you place it down, hit F, and it changes colour. Build hammer, changes colour. So I've actually added texture onto the actual thing. Now, we've got that, so that's just basic. Now we're going to go into more of the high-end stuff. So, these are laser lights. So there are 2 types. Now, due to how I've made them, each of them have a colour set, so you can see the colour in different colours there. Then we've got these lights, pyrotechnics, fog, and DJ covers. So what I mean by first, we'll just do the speaker covers. So these allow you to put on any block, change the colour, because most nightclubs and parties are going to be in the night time. This allows you to turn anything into a speaker. They've got 2 colour modes in each one. So this allows you to make a speaker out of anything. Just a fun thing, so you don't, if you don't want this small little speaker, you can make a giant speaker out of these. Now this is where the fun happens. So these have a very high height. They're about 24 to 25 blocks long. So you can see that goes far into the ground. It's always easy to just punch to break. Now they rotate. Now you can see it goes down to a far beam. You hit it, it will go down a little bit further. It'll angle up. They'll split wide, split down, and straight down. So these allow you to, well, make laser shows. Now, you may have noticed they're not animated. So I've worked out there's actually a limit size on how big you can make an item animated. And what I mean by that is, if I animate them, they break. I'll literally just show you an image on screen, video on screen right now. For some reason, there is a block size limit on how big a model can be animated. I really did try to make them animated, but they just did not work. So they're just solid color lines that you can change by hitting the block hammer to change its angle. Now there are 2 types. There's the roof one for the ceilings, and then these floor ones. So the floor ones are actually one of my favorite ones, and as always they change color. So they've actually got 2 color states per block. So this one goes green and blue. You got light blue and pink, red and white, orange and yellow, purple and purple. Yeah, I couldn't really come up with that, and someone kept asking for purple. So, still changes, but this one has a little bit more stuff with it. So, you hit it, it goes down further, goes down further, goes down further, goes down further long, yep, further long, comes up a bit, angle, angle. Now this one can go straight up, straight down, to the left, to the right, and it comes back to the set. And it has the same things. So you can do a lot of things. Now, these are things I think people are going to like. We have even more fun things. So, This is actually dance lights. Now the way they work better at night time and by distance. So the further you're away, the more you'll see them. So right now you can't really see them, but if I hit them with build hand, you can slightly see the colours. So if I turn off the lights, now because they're up against a block, they also play up a bit. Let me just break that. And I'll just... Okay, one minute, I'm just going to... They need a little bit more height. So yep, you've got dance lights now. So you hit them to change their colour. So they have two modes. Now you can tell what mode is on by the little indicator up here. So these actually have a very high height. And also, we also now have pyrotechnics. So these took me ages to get working. So you've got a big flame and a little flame. Then you hit it with the hammer and it changes its colour. I plan to add more colours in the future to add more to it. And we also now have smoke machines. So these work better if you put them in the floor. It's one block down. And see, you got a fog. You got smoke fog machines. Now, I had some people asking if I can put them 2 blocks down. They keep bugging out, so they're only 1 block now until I can get that working. But also, these work really well if you put the panel over them and the dance floor over them. You can't just walk over them like this. You can just put them in a spooky thing. You can also put a slab over them and they work. Or you could just do a flat roof. Do a slab over it. You can partly see with a slab. Now you've got all these stuff. What can you do with them? Well, you may notice this wall here. Let's go over there and see. Make it night time. And this is what you can do with the mod. This is just a basic demo of what you can pull off. So we have a concert here, a nightclub. So this is just using some of the decorations to pull off this. And this is just basic. This is me just doing basic setup. So this is using the auditorium prefab. And if I come up here, you can see more of it. So someone could be DJ there, dance floor. I mostly made this mod from inspiration from my Neon Zone mod I made for the mod contest. But also, well, we're getting emotes now. And we're getting voice chat. So I thought, a friend of mine likes to play music and be a DJ. Well, you can play music for your mic, for your voice. So, and I thought, there's not really much things for concerts. So this is a fun thing, like if you want to have a concert on your server, or you want to have a party, a nightclub with friends. And eventually, when I can get the music stuff to work, these will also, you'll be able to play music through these. So this is the version 2 of my nightclub disco dance mod. Mostly it's called the nightclub mod now. Still going to have the disco and dance in the title for the mod description and the mod itself. But I hope you enjoy version 2 of the mod and this base introduction of the mod and everything with how to craft everything. And I can't wait to see what parties and nightclubs you guys make, or just dance rooms, or just having fun with friends. There's a lot to choose from. It's very easy just to change these lights whenever you need to. Just build hammer, change the angle of it. You got the roof ones, you got all the lighting stuff. Now I'm going to just give you one heads up. VFX has a limit, so if you overdo it with VFX, they just won't play. That's why I've made these laser lights. These, you can just put 100 of these down, and it only comes down to render distance. So if I go creative mode and fly away, you can see the VFX is already unloaded. VFX has a render cut out. So here's the VFX. They're way off. But you can see the laser lights from a really, 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 really far, far away. You can still see them. These are cut off. I can still see them. And also because they're so thin, even by walking around, it also looks like they're animated. So they've got their own fun gimmick. And also they kind of change colour a little bit while you're away from them. Just because of how thin they are, just with the angle. Well, I hope you enjoyed version 2 update showcase video. Enjoy the mod. I can't wait to see what you guys make with it. And I hope you like my nightclub mod. Have fun and party away.